second, guys. You know, I need to do my bit for society and cast my vote. I'll tell you who I voted for at the end. Perfect. Hello, people. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing okay and everyone is doing well. Another day, another cheeky Love Island review. We've got 3 reviews to go to the finale, guys. So let's get into it. Another long episode, but not too much to discuss today, but also a lot to discuss. And that ending, but we're gonna get into it. So as I usually and always say, number one, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe and definitely join the family. We love having you here, and we also have a cheeky little chinwag. Also be sure to follow me on my Instagram and also my Twitter at SarahDestinyX. And number 3, please get cozy, comfy, hot air being a snack. And let's get into today's review. So let us start off with the follow-up of the talent show. Kicking off first with Connor and Megan. Guys, it was given Troy and Gabrielle, okay? Mind you, by the way, some of you are actually too young to even know about High School Musical, and that is very worrying, okay? But they were singing, this could be the start of something new. It feels so right. Now, I am gonna say, all right, it was a bit bitchy, you know what I mean? It's just like, just a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. It was bad, but it wasn't too bad, okay? Next we had Jamie giving a speech. I'm not sure what it was. It was giving Grammys, it was giving Oscars, it was giving Love Island Awards, something. We next had Harry, he was a clown. Even before he went up, I think he said he was gonna juggle, he was gonna do some juggling, and then Helena was like, what, are you gonna juggle some women? And he was just like, no, eggs. I'm gonna get into Helena next. Yeah, I'm gonna get into Helena and Blue. I'm gonna get into them. Just wait there, guys. Just wait there, all right? Buckle your seatbelts. Next we had Princess Shakira. Oh, baby, when you tongue like... Yeah, we had Shakira. She actually looks like a Disney princess, honestly. But she also sang Aladdin. Some of you are also too young to also know about Aladdin. I can show you the world. Shiny, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess. Now, oh wow, what a tune! What a tune! Songs like that actually make me smile because wow, what a tune. And Tony was a bottle girl. I'm not gonna hold you, like Tony being a bottle girl makes sense. It's, yeah, she was given shots and shapes. That's what I said in my head anyway, but it made sense. And she was doing her thing. Okay, Tony, you were doing your thing. Anyway, the winner of the Love Island talent show ended up being Helena with No Good Airlines, and I'm surprised why, because that talent was actually no good. It wasn't even talent, I don't know. I still believe the producers wrote that script for her. But it was low-key given, you know, oh, sympathy, oh, hells, we feel sorry for you, we wanted to do it. Because there's no way you guys felt that that was the winner of the talent show. There's no way. But anyway, that was the first text. And what was so funny was even after that first text was received, they was just like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm so happy. I'm sinking. But they were just like, oh gosh, yeah, I'm so happy. I thought that text was going to be something else. But the producer said, wait there. Wait there. What did the producers do, guys? I'm not going to hold you. Yeah. The producers had revealed the votes from the previous public vote where we were given the opportunity to vote for our most favourite couple, and of course those with the least favourite just being dumped, blah, blah, blah. From winning the talent show to being dumped, that pipeline was cinematic. Yeah, it was cinematic. Now you guys know how I feel about Helena, blah, blah, blah. Although I must say, number one, I actually feel like Helena's downfall not only was the whole like Harry, man situation, but also her acquaintances in that villa. When Helena wasn't around Meg and who was supposed to be part of that villa, Emily, and she was actually talking to the other girl, she was actually bearable. I ain't gonna hold you. She actually genuinely was bearable, but she done too much. It was her time to go. And Blue, I already said it in yesterday's review, Blue had to go. There was no ifs or buts. That guy, he's holding this big fat L for the way he reacted and the way he behaved coming back into the villa. Mind you, we didn't even request for you to be back. The way Blue acted, his brain genuinely needs to be studied. The way he acted coming back into that villa, he's holding this big fat L forever. That's how you're actually going to be remembered for. And that's it. That's it, okay? But one thing I will say is that one thing that Helena did, which was really nice at the end, when she was just like, you know, Harry Shakira is a different Harry that I had, and I actually feel like he is a really good guy, and I just really hope he does goodbye Shakira, blah, blah. And I was thinking, okay, that's nice, because I'm not going to forget the nonsense that she was doing while she was with Harry and trying to rub it in Shakira. I'm never going to forget that nonsense. I'm also not going to forget the bikini situation. I'm not going to forget the slide. I'm not going to forget any of that, okay? And that's that. Helena and Blue, good riddance, guys. It genuinely was your time to go. Now, after they ended up going, Shakira was talking to her paddies in the villa, and she pretty much said, you know, what did she say again? yeah, as horrible as it sounds, she's quite happy that Helena isn't there, because she doesn't have to feel like, oh, now I need to be cautious of getting to know Harry a lot more because someone's back. She doesn't have to feel that way. And it also reminded me, you guys should know how I like Shakira on this channel, I ain't gonna hold you, but it also reminded me of her emotional intelligence at such a young age. Shakira is 22 and Helena is 29. Helena was doing the absolute most to rub it in Shakira's face that she was with Harry. And when I say the most, I mean the absolute most. And even with all of that, Shakira was still conscious of how her situation with Harry was progressing, and also how it could look if Helena was there. So very interesting, guys, very, very interesting. But generally, it was Helena's time to go, very much Helena's time to go. But yeah, that's what I have to say regarding that. The following morning was the baby challenge, and I won't get into too much of it because the baby challenge is actually quite self-explanatory, but I'll take a few notes and share them with ya. Tony and Cash, they named their baby, I think they named their baby Luna, I don't remember, but I thought I saw Luna. Megan and Connor named their baby Dash. Shakira and Harry, Jasmine. Ty and Angel, I didn't get their baby name either, but I will just quickly throw this in there that they did end up making it exclusive. I don't really have much to say about Ty and Angel. You guys really know how I feel about Ty and Angel. I genuinely, it's not even that they're bad people, or they're this or they're that, but Angel, by the way, she's a follow babe, but I'm going to speak about that later. Okay, I don't know what it is, but she just gives me follow. I'm going to speak about that later. But yeah, I just don't get much from them. I don't care to see their scenes. I don't care to hear the conversations. Yeah, so congrats to them for making it exclusive, I guess, but I can't speak much on that situation, so that's that. Meg and Dejon ended up naming their baby Zion. Even Meg was like, oh, he looks like a Zion. I don't really know what that means because it's a doll, okay? But also, should I say what I'm going to say? No, let me not say it. To be honest, I don't need to say it, because if you watch my lives, you'll know what I'm about, no, what I would say. And it's in regards to the baby names and, you know, the Jadens and the Kyries and yeah, so that's that. Next, moving on to Yaz. I can't lie, guys, Yaz is me. Yaz is me. Yaz is me. I love babies, I love my nieces, I love my nephews, I love all of y'all, but the second you guys start crying, back to your parents. Respectfully, go back. You need to go back to your parents, okay? So that actually did make me laugh, because Jamie was definitely a single dad, okay? And Yaz even made it clear, like, yeah, I'm out. I think she even walked off at, their baby's name was Elijah, by the way. I think they named it LJ for short. She walked off at one point, and whilst Jamie was dealing with the crying baby, Yaz was in the room reapplying her lip gloss. I said, oh. And last but not least as well, Harry and Shakira, they gave their baby Jasmine eyebrows. I don't have any words, but I will say once again, I actually do. I think, did Harry shave, by the way? He only has this now. I feel like he used to have a beard. I don't know, but he only has this now. Either way, Harry and Shakira, they get on really well, and Harry was definitely extremely broody, but yeah, I was actually screaming when they went to go and give their baby eyebrows, and yeah, that was literally it. Apart from Yaz and Jamie had another conversation where Yaz pretty much said that, you know, she's got her baby Meow Meow, aka her cat, and she doesn't think she wants children, essentially. I think that is a very important conversation to have when you are in a couple, not just Love Island couple, but just in general. Jamie did say that he really does want kids, like he, not really, but you know, he's surrounded by a lot of children, and he would like children of for himself one day. So very interesting how they're going to navigate that. And I just, Jamie and guys, you guys are so close to that 50k. Don't slip now. Okay, don't slip. Cool. Next, they ended up getting a text that the Islanders will be tested. Oh my gosh, my phone literally just died. What's going on today? Hey guys, so my phone just died, but it's back on now, so let's continue with this review. So they ended up getting a text that the Islanders will be tested on how well they know their other half, and we'll get into some of the questions. We won't get into all of them because all of them aren't necessary, but we'll get into some of them, and also the ones that ended up leading to further conversations later down the line. First question was, what's your partner's favorite TV program? Cute. Second one was, what's your partner's favorite love language? Now, first things first as well, I don't think Meg knew how to spell service, because I swear she asked Megan that, exactly how you spell it, I don't know. But essentially, some of the partners got their answers right and some of them got it wrong. One of the main partners that did get it wrong, or couple shall I say, was Meg and Dejon. So I think Meg said that hers was acts of service, and I think Dejon said it was words of affirmation. And even when they turned around the board, you know, Dejon was like, you've never told me that it's acts of service. And she was just like, yes, I have. He was like, nah, you've never told me that. It's definitely words of affirmation. Nah, I know you, Meg. Like, nah, it's definitely acts of service. First things first is she knows what she wrote down, Dejon, please. And you know what's so interesting? This episode, I don't even rock with Meg. You guys know this on the channel. I don't rock with the babe like that. The way Dejon was acting actually made me side with her. Like, babe, you actually need to run. because this guy is getting scarier and scarier. He's actually getting scarier and very much scarier. Of course, even the next question was, how many kids does your partner want? Your partner's best feature, favorite place, greatest fare, blah, 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 blah. All the different answers. Dejon randomly will just say, nah, that question about acts of service is still rubbing me, you know. That question is still, nah, that question is, that your love language is definitely isn't. Why are you still speaking about it? Even me and my cousins in the group chat, we were like, oh my gosh, he's still speaking. Dejon is still talking, guys. Scary. Okay, Dejon is still talking, and it was even given that Meg knew that this was going to be a conversation that would, like, as if he would bring it up later, but she was just like, D, like, it's fine, we're doing well, like, don't worry about it. He was just like, nah, it's just that question too is really doing me, you know, like, bro, it's actually okay, it's genuinely okay. I also clocked that there was a lot of eye contact taking place between them in the challenge, almost like they wanted to, you know, ensure that they did win. I just feel like, and I've said this before in all of my reviews, I feel like when it comes to Meg and Dejon, possibly more so Dejon actually, that, I don't know, but it's just given that you guys continue to try to prove that you guys work. You shouldn't have to prove what works, because it will just work. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, the last question, which kept me, oh, I said, oh, child, was if your partner wasn't in a couple with you, who was your partner coupled up with? Now, we'll get into some of the answers. Tony said Meg and Cassius Shakira. In his defense, he was like, you know what? You and Shakira are very similar. So yeah, if it wasn't you, I'll definitely go for Shakira. Shakira ended up voting for Tony, and Harry also said the same as well. Connor and Megan clearly voted for Shakira, because that definitely makes the most sense. Yaz ended up saying that she read the question wrong and that she was going to change her answer. And even me instantly, I was just like, oh, what could she have possibly written down initially that needs to be changed? But we're going to get into it anyway. Tony ended up, oh no, Meg ended up voting for Angel, and Dejon ended up saying Yaz. I said, oh, there. I said, word? Ended up voting for Yaz. I said, interesting. And even Tony said, oh, I thought she wasn't special, because no, for real, you told her that she wasn't special. I thought she wasn't special. We already instantly knew that was going to be a conversation, because Meg was annoyed instantly. And this is what I mean when I said that Angel gives me follow vibes, because the second Meg was like, oh, okay, that's a bit weird, Angel went to go and touch Meg's hand, and Meg was just like, I don't know how people are touching me, I'm fine, I don't know how people are touching me. Angel, why are you touching their hand? Do you feel like it's because Helena is no longer in that video that you need to basically step up to be her bestie? I don't know. This is what I mean when I say that Angel gives me follow beggy vibes, okay? That was just a clear example. And Yaz ended up voting for Shakira, and Jamie ended up voting for Megan. The joint winners, ended up being Megan, Dejon, and Shakira and Harry. Now, after that challenge, Yaz and Jamie were having a conversation, and he was just like, oh, like, who was on your board before you rubbed it out? You said you answered the question wrong. And she said, oh, it was Dejon. And then he was just like, okay, that's a bit weird, because as far as I'm concerned, you hate that guy's guts. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, you do not like that guy. And I think for Jamie as well, because you need to remember, Jamie also came into the villa after the whole Dejon and Yaz and that brief, I'm saying brief because it really wasn't anything much. And on top of that as well, it's not, Yaz isn't the only person who's experienced this with Dejon. We've had Billikis, we've had Melisha, we've had Andrade, there's been different people, right? But what was so interesting was, I feel like that is possibly also why Jamie was so confused, because from what I've seen since stepping into this villa, you've hated that guy's guts, and now you're telling me that if you weren't coupled up with me, you would be coupled up with him. That's not really adding up. Yaz obviously was just like, honestly, it really isn't that. But I could definitely tell that she was able to sense that Jamie wasn't happy. I was just thinking, guys, you're so close to the finals. You're so close to winning. Don't fumble the bag now, guys. We can talk through this. We can, okay? Let's speak. Let's communicate. At the same time, Jamie ended up walking off, and then Yaz now went to go and speak to the girls and said, yeah, I feel like Jamie's really mad at me. But at the end of the day, I read the question, I heard the question wrong, and these were my reasons for wanting to vote for Dejon. Now, even, I think Yaz even said as well, that even the fact that he picked her proves her point, and proves every girl's point that has had to suffer at the hands of Dejon. Okay? Now, what was so interesting after was Meg and Dejon were now having a conversation. Actually, before I get into that, Tony also clocks that she felt that Meg and Dejon were cheating. She was talking about the eye contact thing. So at least I wasn't going crazy whilst I was watching the episode. Now, moving on to Meg and Dejon. Meg is now confused, because as far as I'm concerned, you don't like that babe. And on top of that, we don't like those girls. Okay, we don't like those girls. Yaz, Shakira, and Tony are not my mates here. Why on earth would you say Yaz? You're gonna get into her head. Now she's gonna think there's a chance. That low-key is a stretch, because we definitely know that Yaz does not want Dejon child. We know that for a fact. However, I did have to side Meg for one of two reasons actually. The first reason, because all Dejon does is deflect. Meg has come to you with a problem, and she wants an answer. Dejon, it's not that. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what we're talking about this. At the end of the day, yeah, like I have told you this. And Meg was just like, oh, I don't remember you telling me that, you know, you would have wanted to get to know Yaz. He was just like, yeah, I told you this. Don't you remember when? And Meg is generally like, I don't remember, babe. Like, generally, I don't remember. He's like, now you're calling me a liar. Now you're painting a picture about me. Now you're telling I'm this. Now you're saying I'm that. And then now he started to relay the conversation back to her. I personally don't even know if Meg even believed what he was saying, because Meg was like, oh yeah, I do remember. She probably just said that just to shut him up, because once Dejon starts, he has to end before the conversation is done. So she was just like, oh yeah, I do remember. He was just like, yeah, I told you, remember? I told you that, you know, I told you that I said, you know, yes, and then I had you, and then I had da-da-da-da-da. By the end of the day, you're my girlfriend, I love you, we're exclusive, whatever, talking. You are deflecting. All you had to do in this moment was tell the babe, just listen to her. Why are you cutting the babe off? Meg, even you were still sitting there. I said, you need to leave this man. Like, even though I know she's not going to leave him because we're in the final week, when she gets out of that villa, because guys, Meg and Dejon are not lasting. They are not. And that's not even a curse, guys. That is just the reality of the situation. Because that guy does not know how to take accountability. Even if you did tell her in the past, is that why you're shouting at her? Even Meg couldn't even get a word out. He was like, I love you, you're my girlfriend here. Why would you say that? And then this was when I said, Dejon is snitching on himself. This is why it's not good to talk too much, because when you talk too much, guys, you end up snitching. What did Dejon now come and say? Think about how you're making me look. Think about what you're saying. We're on a TV show. They're going to clip this. What? Guys, Dejon opened his mouth and said that we're on a TV show. They're going to clip this conversation. So you just snitched on yourself. You like, we've already known you've been snitching past couple episodes, but right now, you've actually genuinely snitched on yourself. You snitched on yourself like that. Hey, God. Long story short, Meg ended up walking away, and I'm so glad she did, because genuinely, I'm an adult. I don't actually have to sit down and listen to you speak right now. I don't actually have to hear what you have to say. I don't have to hear it. Anyway, the votes ended up being open. I said, oh, producers, you're really giving us the opportunity to vote in this final week, Shad. That's very interesting. And they gave us the opportunity to vote for our favourite couple in the villa. And I voted for, and in fact, before I say who I voted for, who did you vote for? I voted for Harriet and Shakira. Yes, I did, and I ain't taking that vote back. I'm proud and happy that I voted for them today. Yes. But yeah, I voted for Harriet and Shakira. Let me know down below who you guys voted for as well. But yeah, guys, interesting episode. Not too much happened because it was the baby challenge, but also not too little because a few things happened with the challenge at the end. But yeah, that is the end of today's review. As always, guys, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Therefore, join the family. Also, be sure to follow me on my Instagram and also my Twitter at SarahDestinyX. But other than that, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Please do take care. Stay blessed. 3 more reviews to go. Periana. So yeah, 3 more reviews to go. But I want to thank you guys so much for locking in with me every single night. Have a lovely evening, and I shall see you tomorrow.